I love movies.
Hello and welcome back to the Mad Cinema Show. I'm your host, Scott G.
And I'm Phil B.
Today we're talking about Children of Men. There are no babies, Philip.
No babies.
No babies
No
in the
more
world.
babies. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Which, does that mean there's no dead baby jokes?
I think at that point it would be really insensitive to tell a dead baby joke in that world. I don't think there are very many people. Maybe a super edgy comedian.
Only Jim Jeffries is telling the
fucking
dead babies. That's my Jim Jeffries impression, guys.
It's a good job. It was spot on. You sounded just like him. Anyways, so basically, in this movie, if you haven't seen it, the plot is in 2027, or what is it, 2009. In 2009, there was this something unknown happened and turned the human race infertile.
Yeah, the crisis appears to be only in humans and worldwide. So it's not it's not something
just
that's
one specific country dealing with this.
And it's not just in the developed world, and it's not just in the undeveloped world. It is straight up a worldwide human issue. So
then we jump to 2027, and this is where the actual story takes place. That's just the setup for the world at this point. By the time we get to where we're going, the world has pretty much just gone to shit.
Yeah.
This is not a happy movie.
No, it's not. I hope you didn't want a happy movie.
I hope you didn't want a happy episode, guys. This is going to be real down.
This is also most likely my favorite movie.
Yeah.
It's hard not to say this is my favorite movie.
So it being your favorite movie, what are some things that stand out to you, specifically?
Well, okay. You put it best, but I think that I innately understood this years ago when I didn't understand what was the technical side of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I at least understand way more of it than when this film came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what 2004?
2006.
Six. Okay, six.
When this actually came out. Yeah.
And I saw this in theaters, and I just remember the visual impact that the scenes have. It has.
This is a beautifully shot. The cinematographer on this. Which, hold on, keep talking. Let me look that guy's name up because
there's so many scenes that reminisce what we have seen as the worst atrocities that man's committed. And it's put forth in such an artistic, beautiful fashion. What's this guy's name? Emmanuel Lubezki. Lubezki, I believe. Make sure I'm not wrong about this, but that's the guy that did the cinematography for Birdman.
He did Gravity.
Oh yeah, Gravity.
He did The Revenant,
Fuck yeah!
Birdman.
He did The Revenant.
He did the fucking Revenant, dude.
Well, that's why. Okay, because look, man, I don't think The Revenant's a great movie as far as it.
It's just beautiful.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster ride, but it's more of like a art museum. It's more of like a weird fucked up dream.
It's DiCaprio's penance for being in that stupid fucking boat movie. He's just self-flagellating.
Boat movie.
Whatever.
What boat movie?
I fucking love Titanic. I don't give a fuck,
that boat
dude.
movie. I totally didn't even know the
shit.
boat
That's
movie.
That's a damn good movie. Anyways,
I haven't seen Titanic since it came out, and I just kept watching the scene where the guy fell off the back of the boat and hit the propeller. You remember that scene where that guy flips?
Yeah, just playing it.
Like, dude, it killed me and my buddy. We just, woo, that was But anyway,
I looped a completely different scene.
Oh yeah, draw me like your French girls.
Right.
So the
anyway, sad movie.
Sad movie. But no, the sad movie. Not fucking in the back of a Model T.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
that. If you came here for that, then you are no. Other things happen in the car, like
mistaken.
dude. So let's talk about that.
Mistaken.
So since we're
hold on,
hold on. Keep going
because you were saying this. The thing that really it gets me is that visual storytelling of this movie and the way that it's I mean some of my favorite pieces of art in general don't tell you expressly with words what's happening. It's way more of a feeling. It's way more of like Bloodborne.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bloodborne has so much atmosphere to it that you understand the plight that these people are under. Yeah. It's not just I'm going to tell you why things are bad.
Right.
It's much
it's
like
just things are just bad.
Things are just bad. Yeah, hey, this guy that I've talked about, Zdzislaw Beskiński.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know about him, he's a surrealist artist. He's a Polish guy, fucking amazing. But again, it's surrealist art that has these undertones where you understand the point that's being made without it having to be shoved in your goddamn face.
Yeah.
This movie definitely shoves its world in your face, but that's because of how brutal it is. It's more like a Berserk situation. It's more like a look how fucked things are. but it doesn't have to tell you how fucked they are. You can look at the walls and read the newspapers and see what's going on.
Absolutely.
You can see the print from because
I think that's interesting too. Is like because looking at the billboards,
the
the
billboards
backgrounds really tell a fucking story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is that?
The people.
Yeah.
The people tell so much of a story.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, it's like you were referring to this like painting is like I've always heard that whole like idea as far as like composing a piece of visual art, you want to keep the eyes moving. Yeah. And that's what this movie does really well. It like has some of the best blocking that I've ever seen in a movie. It's just it's like everything is moving the way it's supposed to, and every single frame has so much to just feed your eyes with. Like there's so much information, there's so much storytelling just happening in the background.
That storytelling isn't just there to be cool. It's not like a lot of modern filmmaking where there is just mess there or things that look fancy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at this ornate thing. Every piece feels real. This is more like that Del Toro style of detail.
I got you.
So this honestly feeds into that style of the way that like every set piece mattered in Pacific Rim.
Exactly.
Everything that we saw in Pan's Labyrinth had a plot point that it specifically.
Oh, and speaking of Pacific Rim, so we've started a new we're gonna start a new segment.
Yeah.
So what were you calling it? The Kevin Bacon?
My own Kevin Bacon.
My own Kevin Bacon.
Because there's the 6 degrees of separation, which is that within 6 people you could find anyone else, and then there's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, which is the same thing except with celebrities.
Right.
So this is my own Kevin Bacon.
So this is my own Kevin Bacon. We are going to try to find connections and make our own personal canon for movies.
Yep.
So in this one,
and we're gonna shoot movies out of that canon.
Exactly. Right into the enemy ship. Anyways, so our Kevin Bacon for this movie is Charlie Hunnam, who plays Patrick, and who also played Riley.
From Dreads McFuckboy.
Dreads? No. That's this guy? Movie. Dreads McFuckboy.
Well, yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
That's his name in this movie. Yeah, but in Pacific Rim, he was
Riley.
In Pacific Rim. He was
Riley.
What is it? Beckett.
Yeah, I think it's Beckett. I think you're right about that. Riley Beckett.
Yeah. So that's our connection. Good job, Kevin Bacon. Get the fuck out of here.
But don't just
stand in the corner.
Yeah, and look weird with your failed career.
Anyways,
what's Kevin Bacon done lately?
I don't know. The last movie I watched with him in it was Tremors.
Like the original Tremors?
The original Tremors. Oh boy, have you seen that one recently?
Yeah, I did, and I forgot that Reba McEntire used to be hot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
like I was just like, fuck, man, Reba. Man, you're a weird, fake-looking old lady now, but you used to be.
So, anyways, our main news. back to the conversation.
Sorry.
Love you, Reba.
Reba, just not your television show,
right? So Julianne Moore, Clive Owen, and what was that other dude's name? The
Chiwetel. Man, I can't remember his last name.
Chiwetel.
Let me see it.
Yeah.
Ejiofor. Yeah. Ejiofor. Yeah. It's a
mouthful, man.
I'm sorry to butcher it.
Yeah.
And what's Key's name? I forgot what her name is.
Yeah. Because she's really important. She's another one of our important characters. Michael Caine, obviously.
Oh my God, Michael Caine.
Dude, Michael Caine is the.
And hey, what's the guy's name that plays Sid?
Look him up. Let me get to Key. Oh yeah. Claire Hope.
Ashity.
Yeah. Claire Hope Ashity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Key.
Mm-hmm. Which I haven't seen in anything else. So that's this is the only film that I can think of her being in, and she's fucking great. Here. She's so great,
Can't find old Sid. But what else was he in that you were saying?
Oh, Trainspotting.
Yeah. Peter Mullen. That's all Sid. Well, Sid doesn't care.
Yeah, Sid's
what an abject piece of shit that dude turns out to be.
You're a fascist pig.
That's a pretty good scene when he first meets him. Because Jasper keeps telling him, tell him he's a fascist.
Tell him he's a fascist pig. He says it so happy too. Remember, tell him he's a fascist pig. With that big fucking smile.
Dude, Jasper. Michael Caine is just the best.
To the end. To the fucking end, man. Hey, pull my finger.
One of the only good people in this movie.
Dude, that's his last goddamn thing that he says is pull my finger.
Pull my finger. You're telling me that's not you're telling me that's not one of the best human beings ever put on this planet?
Man. Yeah. Michael Caine's character is pretty amazing. I love his alarm system.
It's just a bunch of noise.
Yeah, dogs barking and bass drums. And fucking,
And what an incredibly effective alarm system.
Yeah,
man.
Really. I mean, it wakes you the fuck up. You're not gonna not hear that.
Yeah.
Max volume through his household stereo, which his house is super dope, by the way.
Yeah. But speaking of the sound design of this movie, oh my God, dude. Like, that's probably the main thing. That's the thing that I picked up on when I first saw this movie. That was the thing that I immediately picked up on. This is like the sound design in this movie is so fucking good.
It's on that like Saving Private Ryan level of impacting, where you remember it much later,
Exactly.
The opening sequence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when he's getting his coffee, I think that's it's a really good way to just establish.
Well, it immediately establishes the tone of this movie.
Yeah, you understand.
You understand exactly what's going to happen. Another one of those like should be studied in film school kind of intros. Much like Pacific Rim 2, like that has a god tier intro. This has a god tier intro.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also think that this movie is deceptively subtle. I think it's one of those things that, like, if I don't know,
I'll put
it to you
this way. There's fucking burning cows everywhere. I don't think
it's
being terribly subtle.
No, I got you there, but what I mean by that is that this is an older movie. I mean, at this point, it's a 14-year-old movie.
Yeah, 14, 15 years.
And Pacific Rim is newer. Right, so that intro, beat for beat, hooks you in a way that you're like, oh shit. I feel like the modern audience would watch Children of Men and zone out before the explosion. I feel like yes. I feel like that then that's a constituents throughout the film where there's a
lull.
Well, no,
then,
it's not a lull, man.
Yeah.
It's being real. It's being authentic is what it is.
Yeah.
And the problem is that, you know, I don't think modern film has much of a room for being authentic a lot of the time. It needs to rush through itself. It needs to push its, you know, this film's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You know, again, like Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
This plot is not complicated. It's fucking straightforward.
No.
You know?
The narrative itself is not complicated. Because, I mean, what's happening? Clive Owen is a guy who needs to escort a pregnant lady over a border and get her on a boat.
And there haven't been pregnant people in 18 years.
Yeah. But that's the world. Yep. That's not like I'm talking about like beat for beat what actually happens
that's really
in this movie.
Yeah. He at first is trying to get some paperwork. He turns out that he has to escort them if he can get them out of the country. It can't just be paperwork.
Yeah.
So they pay him more to be the escort.
Well, and that's like
that's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole movie, dude.
That's it.
That's it.
And so much of this movie is just like the world itself, the backgrounds, you know, the people walking, you know, that aren't the focus, the things that aren't the focus that are in the distance. That's the bulk of this movie,
man. And
you know,
and I feel like it has that,
and it's great,
that berserk feeling to it.
Yeah,
that whole like, look at what's happening. Just look at what's happening around us. You know, I mean, I realize Berserk's taken to that complete. I mean, you know, like extreme.
Berserk gets wild.
Berserk gets wild.
Like, I mean, it's not even just like things are shitty. No, things are fucked.
But the tone of like, yup, this is the way it is.
Yeah,
yup, it's that whole thing that I feel like most media in general is missing. Like that actually is the tone that I don't like about the new Witcher. Is that it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel so bad.
Yeah.
It should be worse.
Well, and it's also just, you know,
mediocre.
Poorly choreographed. The motivations of the characters don't make sense. The main dude is just a grumbly guy with no reason to be upset. But those are only a few problems with that show.
Neither here nor there.
I do not like fucking Witcher.
I
dropped it after 7 episodes. I was just like, I can't do it anymore. Episode 7 done. Can't do it.
I don't like the Yennefer storyline. I don't like it. I don't like the way they do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever. Let's just move on.
Move on from here. So I really like, again, talking about the like blocking. I really like that scene when they're in the elementary school. And the, like, you know, old dread girl. By the way, in this universe, don't be white and have dreads. Like, it's just not good. And things are not going to end well for you.
You're a dick. You're just a dick.
It's not even some cultural appropriation bullshit. It's just you're kind of a dick. Yeah,
that's it. You're a dick. Isn't that the guy that the Pacific Rim dude?
Yeah, that's him.
That's what I thought.
Anyways, but like this scene when they're in the elementary school and she's telling her that, you know, hey, I used to be a midwife and this is what happened when, you know, the infertility shit happened. And just the way that they frame Key in that dude glass with her swinging, like that's fucking wallpaper fuel, man. Dude. I mean, like, dude,
I guarantee you,
scene is just so
crafted.
Full of information.
I guarantee that one particularly was them walking around this elementary school and somebody stopped and looked out of the window and saw the swing and was
absolutely, and be like, yep, that's how we're doing this. Yeah,
that's a
light
eureka
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those, man.
But yeah.
But it's not just the elementary school, man. Like the framing. So what you were saying about. Let's talk about the tropes of the film, the weird things. Okay, because we noticed a couple of weird similarities. Okay,
so a lot of this movie is
shoes, or feet.
Let's say
trauma,
feet
problems, cigarettes, asking for cigarettes. Okay.
Animals like Clivo and like Theo.
Looking through windows.
Yeah. A lot of this movie is shot looking through windows. A whole lot of this movie is shot through fucking windows.
It's weird. It's really weird because I mean, like, there's a lot of this metaphorical. They're traveling in something that's safe, and like they're in the tube, they're on the
think
bus.
About it in the sense of like that's the window to the world. And there's separation. There is some form of like that's not me, that's them. Or that's happening to them, not me at this time. There is that separation. Like if you think about it that way, and then when
he's
a lot of
time
outside
when you see, of the house, and he's looking in, it's the same thing. That's them. It hasn't happened to him yet.
Yeah, exactly.
He's seeing what's going to happen.
What's about to happen. Yeah.
And it's the windows are very metaphorical with that whole thing, and it has like like when Key breaks water on the train into Bexhill, and
you see all the all them lining up all the refugees outside the window. Dude,
there's so much about this movie that like has this like I've seen other films that have a fascist government implementation.
Well, it's the whole thing of dystopia.
Yeah, but this dystopia is different, man. This dystopia is way more just salt in your wound, spit in your face. This is dystopia. It's not the way that other things are, where it's like, man, hey, things are kind of shitty. Yeah, like it's that thing I'm saying about that. Like it's the berserk of worlds where they don't give a fuck about crushing somebody's head in front of you. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about being like, yes, all of those people that just came out of that building with a white flag got shot up by the military because they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
it's a kind of dystopia that you do not fucking see normally. Right. You do not see the full on fascist concept the way that this is.
Yeah,
you're a fascist pig.
Yeah. And that's how we get full circle, guys. That's why we get paid the big money.
But no, I'm just saying like let's talk about
Sid.
Well, no. I mean other fascist things, just real quick, like other movies that kind of present this fascist like
I said, man,
government.
It's pretty much
like Equilibrium.
Okay,
Equilibrium's one of those where they almost glorify the concept in a way.
Absolutely.
It's definitely still the villain.
It's mostly propaganda.
But it makes this like, this glorified beautiful image.
That really has this like whole like, that's the moral dilemma.
It is
what would you rather would you trade your emotions for a peaceful world?
Right?
It's working.
So that's what that's for, right?
It's working. Mm-hmm. You can't deny that it's working. I actually just rewatched this movie today, so it's really funny that you brought it up.
Equilibrium? Yeah. Oh shit!
Yeah,
hey, you want to do Equilibrium? Yeah.
Yes, eventually.
Of course you do.
Yes,
because it's amazing.
Yeah, because it's really good.
Christian Bale.
Look out for our Equilibrium video. It's coming, guys. But
another movie where Sean Bean dies real early.
So what's another one? Because I was actually thinking about that today.
That whole
Sean Bean, dude, he's got something in his contract where he just has to die.
That whole fascist government being implemented. Mm-hmm. Okay, so have you happened to
Fahrenheit 451?
Yeah, have you seen the HBO version of that?
No.
Okay, so it's really good. It has Michael B. Jordan in it, and what's that guy's name that played Zod in Man of Steel?
I don't remember his name, but I know
who I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about.
So those are the two main characters in Fahrenheit, and this version of Fahrenheit is totally fucking great. It's a wonderful representation of the book. They leave some things out, but it's fine. Like it still gets the idea across very well. And it also has its own like little modern feel to it, right? Without being shitty. And
Put that asterisk on there real hard.
But even in that world, you know, I mean, yeah, they burn people that are bad and stuff, but it feels like this whole dramatic air of things, you know,
right?
Or then 1984. There's another one that like you don't really see the bad things in a direct way. It's not.
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
just kind of implied.
You know,
it's really just implied.
The thing about Children of Men's classification here is that it's a dehumanizing thing, and it's something that other movies don't touch on the same way. The only other movies I can think of that are this like dehumanizing, as far as what I mean by that is like the lack of regard for human life.
I gotcha.
It is like war films, and I really mean like fucking Saving Private Ryan. Like this is like the sci-fi Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, it's that kind of like high concept. Like, but shot like a fucking war movie. Shot like a fucking war movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can get that. So again, let's go through some of the other things. So that was really kind of the window one. So his foot thing. Like, Clive Owen has real bad foot problems in this movie.
He's got some foot issues.
This shit is always happening to his feet. So he loses his shoes because he runs out of the house.
Which makes me think of that fucking that Frank from It's Always Sunny. I lost him in the bathroom.
Because he runs out of the house. Yeah. Gets his feet muddy.
Yeah.
Has to run away from a horde of people trying to kill him.
While he's trying to jumpstart a car.
Yeah.
With somebody that doesn't know how to jumpstart a car.
So then he's soaking his feet at Jasper's.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't find no shoes. Got to wear flip-flops. Yeah. So bad idea. This boy's got to run, and he's got to do it in flip-flops.
And then he cuts his foot all up.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get key to somewhere safe.
Yeah.
And finally, those nice Russian people.
Yeah. And he soaks his feet again, and then gave him some
shoes.
Actual shoes.
Real shoes? Well, they were New Balances.
No.
So, but they were shoes.
I guess they were shoes. Better than plastic ass flip flops.
Foot coverings.
It was like, so that's something that happens.
His
bunch of foot
thing,
whole bunch of foot problems, man.
Well, it makes me think of just like there's a couple of things that nod towards like the Christ figure, you know, and I think that's one of them.
Analog.
The washing of the feet, him being in sandals for a while, him kind of being a savior, him having seriously, not as crusty, but
right.
Hell, I mean, I think some balsa wood sandals would be better than those flip flops.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, they didn't really help him too much. He cut his foot up. Cut his foot up. Man, and he lost one.
No, you know, he flipped when he should have flopped.
So. Right. No when to flip.
Don't flip when you should have flopped.
Don't flip when you should have flopped. The more you know.
So, the cigarettes thing.
Yeah. So let's So he's constantly
asking him for
everybody asks him for cigarettes.
Yeah, and they do the same motion. They do the same like two
well,
fingers
I think
to
that's
the mouth.
Just a
that
like,
is the
short,
universal.
That is the
but
universal,
I think that might be the point. I think that's exactly the point of the cigarettes thing. Is it's like
it's kind of breaching barriers.
Everybody needs a cigarette,
everybody
man,
needs a cigarette.
And everybody knows.
And everybody knows how to ask for it
for a cigarette. Everybody knows because that's how you hold a cigarette. Yeah. So when you do that, people go, "Oh, cigarette."
No language borders.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I think that's actually the message that's behind that. You know,
that's interesting. That's really cool.
Which, by the way, makes me bring up the way that they kind of treat this refugee situation because you know like the refugees, the immigration problem, because I mean they're basically again with the fascist government pushing this concept of like, you know, immigrants are scum, you know, anybody that's here illegally you need to report them, fucking all this propaganda basically the whole time which like the world is crazy, so there are weird circumstances. So I get that there's a reason for it, but it's still it's shitty fucking propaganda, and it's one of those things that's being pushed on everybody all the time, right?
Yeah.
But it's also not a racial thing. It's not a racial thing at all.
Right.
It's just it's still xenophobic.
Anybody who isn't, a London citizen.
So it's still xenophobic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's still fear of the outside. It's still being like, oh well, fuck you, you're not from here.
Yeah.
But it's not a racial thing, and they make sure to point that out quite a bit with the movie, with like how many German nationals are coming in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of old German people that are in those same Romanian, German, so they're making sure that you understand that it's not just like, here's this impoverished country, the way we think of refugees is all I'm saying. It's not refugees like of here's a war-torn country. No, the world is war-torn.
Absolutely.
it's so
London seems to still be doing okay, so people are just trying to get in there.
A couple of people are doing all right. Yeah. His brother with the art was doing fine.
Yeah, dude, he was doing okay.
I don't really understand how that guy fits in.
Okay, yeah.
Like, what fuck does he do to make this money? How is he okay in this way? Did he make that much money before things happened?
Why does he have a big pig balloon floating outside of his fucking window?
Because of Pink Floyd, dude, okay? It's because of Pink Floyd. You just calm
saying
down.
This like the one thing in this movie that just stands the fuck out.
That's
and
the thing that bothers you.
You're like, what does this mean?
But the pig!
But the fucking pig! It bothers me.
Well, I don't know. I really think that it's. I really think it's a joke, man. I really think, because I've seen it a bunch.
Pink Floyd nod.
Well, yeah, but I also think it's that whole we'll have children again when pigs fly. It's a fucked up joke, and it's like a. Because he's an aristocrat, and he's one of those guys that's gonna look at the world and be like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
And I hope that small amount of sound was enough to convey
convey what you were trying to say.
I'm sure you got it.
I'm sure you got it. They're smart.
You're a smart crowd. But I love the way when they first come into his environment. He has the David that's got a peg leg.
Yeah, peg leg David.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's Captain really cool. David.
Oh.
He didn't have an eye patch though, or a parrot. So
yeah, not really a pirate.
Nah, 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
But whatever. Good try.
How do you rate your pirates?
Rate your pirates. Prince is a 5 out of 5.
Absolutely. Prince is the best pirate.
Yeah, next to Cervantes from Soul Calibur. Yeah, that's the second best pirate right there.
Nice.
And then Davy Jones from the first, because he was dope. I don't give a shit. I don't even like those movies, and Davy Jones is dope.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, but I like his just his posh attitude about the situation. Like, he's the man in his castle, in his ivory tower.
He's in the ivory tower, man.
Everything in his house was white too.
All of it.
He had that pristine. I'm not gonna see the filth of the world,
right?
And
because I am above it.
And it's weird because it's a direct mirror upon what the upper class would do in that
situation. Yeah.
What else would they do? Well, they'd regress into themselves, and the future doesn't exist anymore. So why do they give a fuck?
Right.
Well, what does he do?
That's kind of the whole world's kind of mentality to a degree, man. It's just like the future doesn't exist anymore.
Well, hell, even Key was talking about that. Key was saying that she, got it on with guys all the time because why not?
Why not?
Why the fuck not?
Can't have a baby.
Yeah, and then she thought she was sick, and it turns out she's pregnant. You know,
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Like, to think about, like, just how that just, I don't know. This movie seems like, if that situation actually happened, this feels about as close as what would probably actually be the case.
It's
it's not a very optimistic view of the world. Like, again, unlike Pacific Rim, which is an extremely optimistic movie towards the future and humanity in general, this one has a very, very negative view of humanity. Like, and it puts it on display.
It's kind of like a look what you guys did.
Yeah.
Just look at it.
Look at it. You should feel bad about this.
So that's kind of a funny thing. So think about the people that do feel bad, because this is a point that I thought of earlier. The repenters and the what was the other one?
I can't remember. The ones that
some of them flagellate themselves, and then the others prostrate. You know, like they kneel down, and you know. But like they
are really into Shantae, Half Genie Princess, man. They love that game, man.
Shantae. Yeah, for real. But that's the weirdest thing about this is, like, in a world that seems like it's moving farther away from religion, this movie. That wasn't a new thing when this was happening.
Right,
you know,
right.
Like this was definitely an upturn, and they play to the trends of what was happening in 2006 to project what would happen 20 years in the future.
Yeah.
And it's not as extreme, of course, but a couple of the concepts are fairly close. And the weird thing is that they, you know, of course they're talking about an uptick in. I'm talking about an uptick in religion,
right?
Like it seems as though people.
Well, you would think that in a crisis like this, there would be a lot of people turning to religion. I mean, people turn to religion even today, and they don't, you know.
But they're attaching themselves to this. You know, anything.
Well, and it's not just one
man.
in this movie.
Yeah.
It's not just one religion. It really seems to be. I know there is a religious sect that kind of believes this, of just like all religions are correct and you know, blah blah blah. So maybe they were trying.
Is that Unitarianism?
I think
what that is? Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. Anyways,
sorry.
Tell us how wrong we are in the comments,
please.
But like, that really seems to be the prevailing, like, belief in this universe. It's not just one thing.
No,
it's kind of a combination of a bunch of things.
But it feels like it's not the same way that it's not this, we should be accepting of everybody. Let's just do this. It's a desperate act to find something to
hope for.
Something, dude.
Something to make you feel some kind of purpose.
Yeah. And that's
and
probably
you're gonna fucking carry this weight forever. Like, this is not a hard. That's the thing. I don't want to portray this, guys, as a hard movie to watch.
No, because it's not.
It's really easy to watch. It's just when you start really thinking about it and really diving into the concept of this world, that's when you're just like, oh, none of this is okay. All of this is bad. This is not going to end well. Which it actually does end well.
Yeah.
I actually really like the ending. You were saying something about the ending kind of falling.
Well, what I mean is, I'm not saying that I dislike the ending.
Right.
What I'm saying is that out of people that I've talked to about this movie, that seems to be the thing that they're like, fucking the ending sucked. It didn't do nothing. And I'm like, well, what the hell are you going to do at the end of this movie? What the fuck are you going to show?
They did it. They did what they set out to do. They got the baby on the boat. Why are you complaining? Look, the boat is getting a baby.
Baby on the boat.
Baby is on the boat.
Baby's on the boat.
We did it. That's it. Good job.
That's
man.
what this movie should have been called. Baby's on the boat.
Baby's on the boat.
Children of Men 2. Baby's on the boat. That's the sequel.
That's the sequel.
Baby's
Get on it, guys.
I want to see it. Clive Owen's obviously not in it.
Yeah.
I think he dies. I'll be honest with you. That didn't look good.
He dies.
It did not look good.
It wasn't looking good for old Theo at the end, was it? Just...
I don't think the Gorton's fisherman got to him fast enough. No, I think that I think they do a fantastic job of taking the bleak, depressing outlook of the future and still giving it a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
Like even for it being such a dark thing to happen, there's still this ray of sunshine.
Right.
And at the very fucking end, it's just like, guess what?
What are you talking about when they're walking down that staircase with the fucking baby? Like that is what a fucking great scene.
Well, you know? it's moving, in a way that, like, because you realize that baby transcends all things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing is people singing to the baby.
Yeah,
that's another thing
that happens all the time.
It happens every time old people see the baby, they sing to it.
They're singing to it.
They just immediately start. It's like they have an automatic song that's the baby song.
Just ready.
I got the baby song. I'm just waiting for a fucking baby so I can sing the baby song. But give me a baby. I got this baby song loaded.
I'm ready. Anytime I see a baby, let a baby come out here.
Because there's a lady that looks like she got her leg blown off,
Yeah.
And she's laying there, and as soon as she sees that baby, she starts cooing and she starts humming to it and she starts singing and she just wants to see it. And it's like every bit of her pain has gone away, And in that moment, like that scene is so fucked up. Like the when he's taking her away from Luke. And he's like when Theo's taking Key away from Luke, and he's
Luke's trying to stop him,
but he doesn't want to shoot at him. He doesn't want to, man. He doesn't fucking want to.
No, not
but
at all.
He keeps shooting over this edge, and to him pulling that trigger is easy.
Yeah.
So when he finally gets to a certain distance and Key's out of the way, he pulls the fucking trigger.
Absolutely.
But only once. You notice that?
Yeah.
It's only once.
It's only one time.
It's a burst. Ga. And
Yep.
it hits him. And it's because he didn't want to do it at all. But that moment where as soon as they start walking down the stairs, and there's the opposite end of the military coming up, and they immediately ceasefire.
Yeah,
dude,
absolutely.
That moment is just
that is the climax of this movie.
Yeah,
that
really.
scene right there.
Yeah,
like that is the thing that is going to and the best part about that is, like we were saying, as oppressive as this movie is, the climax of the movie is so full of hope, and you could only get that kind of like really bright spot in this like darkness.
Amen.
If you didn't have the oppressive environment of this movie, that scene would not have come off as beautiful as it ends up being.
It gives it the weight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, again, to bring it back to Berserk, man, it makes me think of the moment that Guts was born.
Yeah.
Hanging from the corpse of his mother, who's hanging from a fucking tree.
Right.
I
think that's a little more intense than anything in this movie.
But it's anime. But it's anime. Yeah, they gotta
right.
They gotta ramp it up to times 100. Yeah, 2D people ain't real. Don't worry about them 2D people. All right. Flatland is some bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Nice. But I'm just saying that the realization of that something amazing can come out of the gutter, can come out of the absolute worst things that happen in human history. Period. Like this is showing the perseverance of humanity at its best.
I agree.
And it's at the same time showing the degradation of everything that we have right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the most realistic views of how bad things could get that I've ever seen. It doesn't spiff up its sci-fi too much.
Yeah.
It does. This is a science fiction movie, guys.
It absolutely is. Like,
this is a science fiction movie. But it's like Jurassic Park science fiction.
Yeah.
Where you're going like, okay.
This could happen. Of course, now we know that splitting dinosaur DNA with frog DNA probably won't happen.
You don't know that, Scott.
It's probably not actually going to happen anytime soon, at least. I hope not. I hope people take the lesson from those movies, which is, yeah, it'd be cool, but this is a bad idea.
Yeah, and if you ever do it, then don't try to put your T-Rex on a boat and bring it to mainland USA.
No, T-Rex is on a boat. No, but them boats got babies. T-Rexes don't need to be on no boats with babies.
Them boats got babies.
And I think that's a pretty good place to start wrapping it up. Do you have any final thoughts, Philip?
This movie, the only thought that I have is just an anecdotal situation. Like I said before, you know, I saw this film in theaters, and I remember when the previews first came out because it caught my ear immediately because they were comparing it to Blade Runner, and I was going like. Well, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would you say it's like Blade Runner?
Yeah.
Well, there is a modicum of truth in that. Like this whole like futuristic kind of introspective.
Well, think about it goes into the
what did they think it was going to be like?
Yeah. Well, if you think about Blade Runner,
yeah.
Okay, it again is a very simple story.
Yeah.
That a lot of the appeal of it is just the world.
It's the world.
Think about
it's world building.
Yeah. Because think about what happens in Blade Runner. Okay,
he's a cop that
kills
terminates
replicants. Hunts down 3 replicants. That's it. Oh, and falls in love with the replicant.
Falls in love with the replicant.
Right. Pretty simple. And what the majority of that story hangs on the world and the way that it's presented. And this movie does the exact same thing.
It does. So, and it also has a very bleak understanding of the way things are, because think about Blade Runner. It's the leftovers.
Absolutely.
They are the leftovers, you know.
Yeah.
These are the leftovers. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And thinking about it from those contexts, yeah, gotcha. But on the surface level, I was like, wait, fucking Blade Runner. And that's not really what was going on here. So it was slightly false sold to me. But when I went to the theater, I went with a girl that I wasn't dating, a mutual friend of my other friend that went with us, and we all saw this. You know, I didn't know her very well, so I don't know what her movie taste was, but I know my buddy pretty well, and you know he likes movies similar to what I like. And I remember the very end of the film. You know, it says "Children of Men." It wraps up with kids laughing.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there with my mouth open, and I look to the right, and I see a girl texting and a dude asleep. And I'm like,
what the fuck?
Did you guys not watch this movie? And rage built up inside of me. And I think I've held that rage
this whole time. It's just been there
14 years.
Let it out, man.
Just watch this movie.
Just watch this movie.
That's my thought.
Don't text. Don't fall asleep.
Just fucking
This is a good movie. This is worth your time.
And I'm also going to say the next movie that's on my list to do, which is Harakiri, Death of a Samurai, which will be a couple of times from now, maybe the next time after this. Something.
Yeah.
It won't be the next one.
It won't be the next one. We're doing something a little lighter.
It's another one of those movies.
Yeah, we've decided we're going to do something a little lighter next time. So,
but I still just want people to shut the fuck up and pay attention to the movie. I'm not even saying you guys, but you know those people.
Yeah.
And none of us like them. That's my final thought about this film.
Shut up and watch the movie. That's it. Good. I love it. Heck yeah. Well, guys, tune in next time. Hopefully, what do you think? What do you think? We doing Serenity or did we?
Yeah, because we don't need to do Conan next.
We don't need to do Conan next. By the way, guys, look forward to...
Don't I have to watch Firefly to see Serenity?
You don't have to.
But
I mean, it's good. It's good to have that like back catalog of knowledge, but it's like Serenity kind of stands alone.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Okay. Well,
like it's a good movie.
We might do Serenity and then I can watch Firefly later.
Yeah,
and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Because I haven't seen either of these, so sorry.
And the brown coats are gonna storm the studio, man.
Oops.
I'm sorry.
Oops. All right, guys.
Fillion's a sexy man. Don't kill us.
Nathan Fillion. I do know that man. All right.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.